Your kids listen to their martial arts instructor for the first time, every time. No yelling, no repeating, no negotiating. And then they come home and act like they've never heard the word now in their life. And that's not a kid problem, that's a system problem. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why the exact 3-part rule that we use in the dojo works and how to install it in your house this week. Okay, so in this chapter, I want to go more into like why the system works. I wanted to start you out with the system, trust the system, do the system. But now I want you to understand why your kids will listen to me the first time and how you can get the same results at home. So the problem isn't that your kids won't listen. So after years of teaching kids in the karate school, here's what I realize. That your kids listen to me the first time, not eventually, not after I yell 5 times, the first time. And that same kid probably doesn't listen to you at all. And the problem is parents have never really set the actual expectation. So what's different? And it's not that I'm louder, it's not that I'm scarier, and it's not some special karate dojo school magic. It's just one simple rule. And once you understand it, it changes everything. And it's this simple thing. Black belts start first time they're asked. We call it first time, best time. That's the mentality we have. And that's it. That's the whole thing. It doesn't say not eventually, not after you yell 3 times. First time. No ambiguity, no negotiation, and there's no room for interpretation. And the magic, when a kid knows that's the standard, their brain starts to expect it. So let's talk about why this worked. Part one, the expectation. There are 3 parts to this system, and let's start with the very first one. In the dojo and karate school, wherever that they may train in martial arts. When a student walks in for the first time, I don't say try to listen if you feel like it. I say, here's how we work. When I give you an instruction, black belts follow it the first time. That's what makes you a black belt. From day one, they know the standard, right? We say it differently for the different age groups, but that's basically the sentiment that when I say this, you do that. When I say this, you do that. We do black belt, we do first time, best time, period. And where most parents mess it up, that you haven't given your kid what the expectation actually is, you're hoping that they just understand it, but they don't, right? So they keep testing the boundaries and they keep pushing back, and they're not really trying to be difficult. They're confused and they're doing what kids do. They are exploring their world. They're exploring and they're learning things about their environment all the time. So the confusion problem is what's going on right now because sometimes they move after one ask, sometimes after three, sometimes after you yell. So their brain hasn't really locked in what's going on right now. And the simple things that you need to do is in our family, black belts start this first time that they're asked. That's what we're going to work towards. That's what we're working on. Crystal clear targets, that the target, that's the expectation. And so the biggest mistake is not setting clear expectations. Kids need to know what success looks like. They need to understand the rule is before they can follow it. And we assume that they know. So let's just remove all doubt and make sure that we tell them what it is. That's what we want to do. Okay, why this works part two, how you say it. This is where it truly gets real. So in the dojo and karate school, I don't yell, start the drill now. I say one word and I say sichak, which means begin, calmly with confidence. And I expect them to begin. Just like when I say baro, which means stop, I expect them to stop, right? My body says this is what's happening. No emotion, no punishment threat, no begging. Now, does that mean they do it perfectly every time? Absolutely not. But that's when we have the natural consequence, right? If they don't do it, I say, Baro, that was not our black belt standard. Everybody give me 5 push-ups. Everybody do 10 jumping jacks. Everybody, that's where we reinforce the standard. We remind them that is the standard. And at home, you can do the same thing. I need you to put your shoes on now. And you say it like that, they will. Your kids will feel the difference. You will sound like a sensei. You will sound like an instructor, not like you're begging, not like you're hoping, not like you're frustrated. You sound like someone who's in control. I need you to get your shoes on now. And you can also say, so we can leave here sooner so we can get back to do X. If you need to add a caveat, depends on the child. Sometimes some children need context. Some children don't understand the importance of it. Some children don't understand that them not doing it impacts the entire family. So sometimes just by saying, I need you to put your shoes on now so we're not late for soccer. I need you to put your shoes on now so we don't run into traffic going to school. As simple as that. That doesn't change what you're doing or saying. It's just some kids need a little more context. Completely okay. But you saying it that way still doesn't leave room for negotiation. And so the other thing I want to bring into this context of this conversation is what's actually happening in the brain. So this is what neuroscience, which is just how your brain works, is that when you yell, your kids' brains go into a fight or flight mode. They're not absorbing your words, they are protecting themselves. So when you are staying calm, a child's brain can actually feel safe enough to listen, right? And I know that doesn't that in your mind, you're like, no, that's not how it happens, Tracy. They don't move until I yell. It's like they don't hear me unless I yell. And my point to you would be is because that's how you taught them to do. You taught them that they don't have to move unless you yell. Right. So you have to start changing you. You start with you, you change you to get a different outcome so that when you speak calmly with confidence, they are able physically, physiologically able to actually listen and respond. Now, does that mean they're always going to choose to respond the way you want to? Absolutely not. However, calm is just giving them an opportunity to actually hear your words. That's where the rest of the system will kick in because being calm is not weakness. It's actually authority. It's authority that doesn't require volume. So just know that your presence and the way that you show up in the conversation impacts their reaction and what they actually hear. Why this works, part three, is the signal. Using a consistent physical signal trains the brain as well. So, in the karate school, as an instructor, our signal, it could be a signal, but for it could be, we call it our ready position. The ready position is the signal. I always tell the students when you are standing in the ready position, I know that you are ready to learn. So, it's a physical thing. The bow, the phrase, the phrases that we use, it's training them to be ready to do the thing. And that's when the students' brains are trained, that's when the actions happen now. So when I say the word should be, which means ready position, that automatically shifts something in their thinking because they know, oh yeah, that I've got to be ready for this. And so you can do the same thing at home where you could let walking to the door be a signal, or standing in the doorway with your specific look be a signal, or how you hold your body. Just know that sometimes we're signaling and not realizing that we're signaling. We're having a negative body language, or maybe our hands on our hips, or our arms are crossed, or our face is making that face. And they know, oh, when mom makes that face, this is what she's thinking. And it could be the exact opposite of what you're thinking. It's just what they've translated it to be. So choosing the signal is important. How you choose it, and you can choose it together. We use in throughout this training the black belt morning, black belt this, black belt that. Whatever works for your family, same concept. The signal is what we're looking for. The physical consistency matters because your kids' brains are now trained. When she does this, she means this. That action's got to happen. We're not negotiating, we're not discussing, we're doing. In this moment, we're doing. Okay. So that's where you've got to get your signal. And throughout this course, we've used a phrase, and that's a great place to start. It's an easy place to start. So you also want to make sure that you're doing things the same time every day because consistency builds the pattern. So, for you use the karate school as an example, we have classes the same time every week. We start class the same way every time. And I've done that intentionally because everyone comes in with their life all over them. Kids come in with school, the little kids may have had a harder day, but everyone comes in with their day all over them. And so they know when they come in, we're going to do the first few minutes are the same every time. If they come in earlier in the class, I give them some time to run off some energy, but at 5 minutes before class time, everyone's got to line up. And we start every class with the same warm up so that they can start getting into the groove of, okay, now it's time to me to speak, to listen in karate, right? The same phrase. Words become the trigger, whatever your phrase is. Ours is first time, best time. Ours is, I always ask them, are you ready to be amazing? And then they respond, and then they say, I am ready to be amazed. So they know I'm looking and I'm excited for them. So your words can become the trigger, and then your calm confidence. Your brain, so kids' brains, their unconscious mind is always picking up on the signals, right? And so if they're behaving in a way that you don't think they should behave, check you, because their unconscious mind is picking up on something and they're reacting based on that. Okay, so in putting it all together, I just want to recap this one clear expectation. Sometimes we are expecting them to be able to process 8 million different things. So let's just simplify it for them. One clear expectation, and that's black belt start first time they're asked, period. Start there. Energy is calm and confident. Now, does that mean you're not going to get angry or frustrated? Absolutely not. You're just not going to speak to them from that place. So if you are in that place, you're going to give yourself a moment to be calm, right? To get unfrustrated, to get unangry, to remind yourself of the bigger focus, right? To put yourself, to pull yourself out of the emotional moment. Because yes, it does make you angry. Yes, you can get frustrated. But in this moment, this is where you are becoming that leader and you're getting clear on your bigger focus. And then you get clear on why this has to happen now. And then you're going to use your consistent signal, your phrase, your look, your movement that your kids recognize, and maybe you've even agreed on to mean that they know this is the moment that it's time to do. And that is literally the system. And here's what happens when you do this, right? Your kids stop testing, their brains stop looking for fuzzy lines because there aren't any. And your expectation is locked in. And you hear that word, and that your expectation is locked in. Other thing I want you to focus on with this and implementing this system is focus on the payoff. Your payoff, your reward for doing this is you get to have a new reality in 7 days. And 7 days of consistency, not perfection, just consistency. That's it. Not never doing it ever again, just being consistent on what you do. And if you do make a mistake, how you fix it. You will see the shift. You say something once, your kid does it. You're not eventually, not after you repeat, not after you escalate first time. And then when it happens, you're not yelling, your voice is calm, your kids aren't defensive. They're just responding. And even if they're responding in a negative way, you are protecting your energy and yourself by being able to be clear and to show up as a confident leader of your home. And you're not pulled into the wave of their emotions. You can be empathetic, but you can also be that strong, confident person they need you to be. And that's what they'll respect. And that's what we're building in this course. We're building that respect. Okay, you've got everything that you need to put this into practice. You understand the system. You know the mechanisms. You know why that the rule works. You understand how it can change everything. And then in the next lesson, I'm going to go deep, deep into all of the friction points for your toughest situations and walk you through it step by step. Black belts start the first time they're asked. That's the standard. That's the expectation. And each one of the next lessons walks you through how it's going to look in real life and what to do. Let's go. So that's the system. One clear expectation said once with calm confidence, backed by a consistent signal. 7 days of that, and your home is going to feel different. So the course, the full framework, if you want the full framework, the course is called the Yelling Get Black Belt Listing, and it's $97. And you can get it at tinyurl.com/black belt listing. And this lesson is inside of that. Or if you want something more specific to your situation, you can start your free trial at the Lead Without Yelling app, which gives you the real-time scripts for the hardest moments, exactly what to say, when to say, and how to follow through. You get a 7-day free trial at leadwithoutyelling.com/pricing. There is no credit card required.
You can get in there, give it a shot, see how it works. Either way, start tonight, one conversation, one standard, first time.